I spent the last 2 years, yes, 2 years working on my dream horror game. I could have had 2 2/3 babies in that time frame, although 2/3 of a baby is kinda creepy to say. Anyway, the game is almost ready, so today I wanna show you a quick recap of the past 2 years of developing Lost, which includes some stuff I've never shown before, so that's pretty neat. Alright, let's start from the beginning. In April of 2022, I did a challenge where I would make a horror game in 1 hour, 1 day and 1 week. And for the 1 week game, my friend helped me think of this idea where you explore a very simple house and then you can grab a flashlight to attack ghosts. This was just a prototype, but still, this game sucked. It was full of glitches and just not fun to play at all. Like, who even made this, bro? So after this little blunder, I basically did nothing in the next 3 months. But then I finally locked in. In August, I started working on the house in my game. I modeled the entire thing and started adding furniture. And this was around the time where I had a better idea of what I wanted this game to be. So Lost is about a teenage boy that wakes up alone in his house. You have to explore around and solve puzzles while trying to figure out what happened to your family. You also have to fight eerie enemies along the way. Here's the thing, I hate how horror games are just walking simulators. There's no substance to this, no fun gameplay. So I wanted to change that. This game will constantly throw new stuff at you. A horror game doesn't need to be all about atmosphere, you know? Then in September I bought a Unity course. And since this is a course about making 3D games, I'll definitely use what I learned in there constantly, right? Yeah, looking back, I probably learned a lot more by just making games on my own, but I don't know, maybe it helps other people more. I still had a lot to learn though. I couldn't even do basic things like opening a door.
Hell no, man.
And there were many other bugs. That's enough of that. I still have PTSD on those doors. Ugh. In October, I started working on the first puzzles, like a cannon that needs something to work, or buttons that you have to find and press. Simple things like that. I improved a lot since then, and I think my puzzles in the game got better and better. Next, I started working on the graphics, cause I don't want my game to look like it was made in a toaster. I added a lot of post-processing effects to improve the atmosphere, as well as new objects and details in the map. These changes made the house feel much more lived in, which is very important. Now I have absolutely no idea what happened in December, I don't have any recordings, so let's assume I procrastinated again. Moving on, I also started working on the enemies. I actually made them myself using Blender. They are just these ghosts with half their brains sticking out of the head, and they attack you with these black smoke particles that appear on the screen if you get hit. It helps a lot to make unique monsters because now the game is much more recognizable. You need a mascot to make it stand out, and also to make $1 bajillion with merch. Oh, the sweet smell of profits, that's what it's all about. In March, I made the first boss of my game. Yes, my horror game will have bosses, because I like it. And modeling this boss was one of the hardest, most gruesome tasks I had to do. So with the model done, I started working on the script that handles all the boss's attacks. Like this shockwave that you have to jump over, for example. That was actually one of the easiest attacks to do, and I basically did it first try. In April, I did a lot of playtesting and bug fixes. It was mainly me, my family and friends who tried it, and I noted down all of the bugs that kept appearing. I encountered a lot of bugs, and I was able to fix most of them, I think. Like there are these notes scattered throughout the house that reveal more of the story, and there was a bug that would literally freeze the game if you grab the last note. So I just added an extra note and placed it below the map, so no one would find it. And I still do that to this day, I never found out what the issue was. In May, I did a demo trailer of my game. This was my first time making a trailer, so I watched a few videos of Derek Liu, which is kind of an expert of making trailers. He said that I should map out the trailer with just some text like this. And then I would just record some game footage and add that in. And also, the pace of the trailer is very important, so I followed Derek's advice and did the cold open, then the introduction, the escalation, and the climax. I had a lot of fun making this trailer, but I think there are still a few things I could improve when I make the final trailer of the game. That one should be releasing soon, so keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, go watch my demo trailer. In June and July, I prepared my demo for Steam. I set up the Steam page with all the screenshots and the trailer, I made the capsule for the game, I wrote the short and long descriptions, and I improved the game. I had to pay €92 to put Lost here. Ouch, talk about a loss, am I right? like loss of money. Anyways, which finally leads to August of 2024, when I published the demo of Loss. It was a wild ride, but this was a huge milestone for me. If you wanna try out the demo for free, go to my Steam page. I'll probably remove the demo before release because it doesn't represent the current state of the game, so now's your last chance to try it. Also, please wishlist the game while you're at it. If you like horror and puzzle games, you're gonna enjoy this one, trust me. In September and October, I started working on the ground floor of my game. You see, my game will be divided into 3 parts: floor 1 of the house, the ground floor, and outside. Now it was time to do the ground floor. I added furniture and other objects throughout the map, and I did a bunch of extra level design. I also added a gun, for freedom purposes. But then I changed it to be a much more family-friendly laser gun. You'll see what it does in a bit. And oh boy, you'll never guess what I did next! Okay, that's not entirely true. I did a large video for my channel, and I worked on a bit of a side project for some reason. It was kind of a waste of time. In January and February, I did 90% of the ground floor. I'm not even joking, I was very productive this year, I don't know why. I did the main enemies of this floor, which are these ghost women with glowing eyes that crawl on the floor. I mean, they were supposed to crawl on the floor. This one is straight up flying.
She was a fairy.
I did all of the puzzles. I added a lot more decorations. I did more level design. I made the laser gun actually shoot lasers. And I made the second boss. That's all you're gonna get. It turns out that I was starting to get better at this little thing called Unity. You might have heard of it. So my progress was getting faster and faster. Which also leads to March and April. And what did I do in these past couple of months? Nothing. I'm just kidding, I did the entire outside area. Yes, all of it. This was the coolest part to make in my opinion, because I really wanted to focus on the exploration. This area is much more open, so you can walk around freely and find hidden secrets. I designed this with Unity's terrain tools, which lets me do some really cool things, like raising or lowering the terrain, painting textures, painting trees and grass, and much more. It was really fun to design this area for the player to traverse, but obviously there are still some new puzzles, new enemies, and a final boss. The enemies here are these ghosts with red faces that constantly look at you. You'll have to deal with them a few times while exploring. There is also this enemy from before, but this one's friendly, so don't worry. I actually still have the enemy attack script enabled on him, but it just attacks this random vase instead of the player. Now I won't show the rest because I don't want to spoil everything, so you'll have to wait until the game releases. So, what's left to do in the game and when will it release? Well, to be honest, I'm still not quite sure on the release date, but it's probably coming out before Silksong. I have a day in mind, but I don't know if I'll have the game ready by then, so please wait until I officially announce it in the release date trailer. And what's left to do is basically the save manager that should save all of your progress, your community suggestions of course, 1 or 2 cutscenes, and a bunch of polish. And that's it! 2 years of development summarized in 10 minutes, more or less. Here's what my game looked like 2 years ago, and here's how it looks like now. It's kind of insane to think about. I was in 11th grade when I started this project, and now I'm about to end my first year of college. That's crazy! But yeah, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching, and please wishlist Lost on Steam if you're interested. Bye bye!